So I got this really great question on one of my YouTube videos that was like, hey, I heard you once talk about manifestation being like a delusion, like a sane delusion. And I know that there's also the trend, especially if you're on TikTok, of delulu is the solution kind of thing, being delusion is your solution. And I wanted to clarify a little bit of my feelings around this and kind of what I believe in the way that other people can use this in their lives, because I do think there's a difference between delusion, I'm putting faith into the unseen, and delusion, I am off my rocker and showing up at somebody's house and going to get arrested as a stalker. And I'm just being honest with you. And to me, when I say that manifestation is essentially like sane delusion, it's because you're putting faith in the unseen. But I personally have a very strong belief that we have a vast number, like infinite number of possibilities that are available to us. And that by your attention and using your mind in the way that you focus, you can actually choose some of these other outcomes. And the way this all works, I have no idea, right? I definitely believe in God, and like God is the universe, divine, the source, everything. And God somehow, some way, we are all connected through God. It's like we're a fragment of God experiencing God themselves. And I don't know how that works, and I don't understand the purpose. I believe the whole purpose of life is just to live it, is to enjoy it, and is to figure out how to deal with the way that the world is, and how to cope with your emotions and feel your emotions, and how to essentially manipulate energy on some sort of level. But that's about as far as my understanding goes. And when I look at somebody saying, I want to act as if, I firmly believe in that. I think that you can become the person that you want to be through your habits. And when I talk about that, I'm going to use like a specific person as an example, because I think that's a little bit of the most clear-cut example. And so if you are looking for a specific person you want to love in your life, you need to look at your behaviors around that person, because those behaviors and actions, or even if it's like just a general kind of person, not like a specific one you have in mind, but a general person, your actions that you naturally take when it comes to that person is going to identify how you feel in the state that you're currently dwelling in. So a state is kind of your identity. You could identify as being loved, as being cherished, as a mother, female, male. You can identify as being stricken with poverty, healthy, unhealthy. You can identify with being wealthy. You can identify with being smart. You can identify with millions of other things, and those are your states. And the states are always available for you to shift, right? And sometimes that happens throughout the day. I may be in a different state in the morning than I am by the evening. And you can do these with specific techniques, looking at a specific item, or just with your overall well-being. And when I talk, or like your overall focus, I guess you could say, and when I talk about using your habits and essentially acting as if, putting faith in the unseen, or even as far as being like, be a little delusional, I more so mean it, and I need to be more careful with my words on that, because I more so mean it that you are starting to shift the person you are in the way that you view yourself internally, not the things that you're doing externally specific to that manifestation. So let's go back to a specific person so I can try to articulate my thoughts very well. If I have a specific person, but I wake up in the morning and the first thing I do is grab my phone and feel disappointed they have not messaged me. Okay, what is that saying about my current state when it comes to that feeling, that person? What is this saying about me? Or I wake up in the morning and I jump out of bed, I wash my face, I get in my workout clothes, and I go outside for a walk. I spend some time reading. I do things that are for me, that feel good and make me feel good. That's also going to talk about a state. Those are two different people right here, two different states, two different identities. Now, I get in the car and I'm driving to work, and and remember, I'm doing very dramatic examples to hopefully articulate what I'm trying to say. But so I get into work and I'm driving to work, and I listen to sad love songs about how I don't have the love of my life, and they're in somebody else's bed, and I don't know what to do about it, and I cry on my way to work. Or I get into the car and I call a friend, I do some positive affirmations, I listen to a podcast that's uplifting, or even listen to some music that really makes me feel good. Those are two different states. Those are two different areas of being and beliefs that I have about myself. And at first it may feel unnatural to stop being the person that's like in the first example and start being the one that's in the second. Because another example of this would be, let's say that you spend a lot of your time during the day scrolling Instagram and seeing if they're out with somebody else, or like checking their story, or checking to see the last time that they logged into something, or checking to see if they've got a new girlfriend or whatever else it is, or scrolling and feeling bummed that everybody around you has the relationship that you want and you don't have it, versus spending time bettering yourself, learning how to feel like you're worthy, doing things that you enjoy, like the daily joys that I talk about all the time. Those are two different states. These two people, who could be the same person, are putting out different energies. So when you look at like a vibrational field, those two people are putting out something completely different, even if it feels unnatural. So when I talk about the fact that manifestation is on some sort of a level of a little bit of sane delusion, it's because you're choosing to believe in an unseen, and you're choosing to give faith to the fact that you have a choice in the way that you live your life. Okay, my light keeps dying, so I had to switch it up a little bit. But so when you're paying attention to the way that you feel internally, you're making a choice, especially when you're doing this consciously, to say, I have a belief in this change that I'm able to make. Like, I'm able to start to focus, change my life, change my internal beliefs and the things that I'm doing, so that I can have this type of outcome. I can have a different type of life than what I'm currently experiencing, especially when you are focusing on it so consciously. So either it's a love or a job that you want, or getting into a university, or funds that you want to have, like a wealth mindset, whatever it is. When you're working towards that and you're putting your focus into something, and you say, you know what, I've got faith that by doing this, something is going to come out of it. Even if your faith is just, I'm going to test this out and see what happens. That's a little delusional, for lack of a better term, right? You're putting faith into a current unseen. You're putting your focus somewhere that your external senses are not picking up right now. So if you currently don't feel love, or you don't have a relationship that you want, or you're not in the job that you want and you're frustrated, and you say, you know what, I'm going to go all in and try this out. Why not? And you start to work on these techniques, you're putting your faith in the unseen. And to me, that's why I say it's a little bit of sane delusion, because I'm saying I can't see this right now, but I have faith that it exists for me, or else I wouldn't have a desire for it. And that's where I'm coming from. So I hope that helps. So for me, it's really all about saying, I'm going to take care of myself. I'm going to start doing things that I enjoy. I'm going to start making sure that my day is not in opposition of this intention that I'm setting, which is why I'm going to do daily joys. I'm going to focus on my morning routine. I'm going to take really good care of myself, because if I was living the life that I wanted to, I would take care of myself. I would show up for me. I would do these things for myself. It does not mean that I'm going out of my way to try to attempt to make a very specific external outcome happen. So if there's questions about that, definitely let me know down below, because I think sometimes that gets a little confusing, and I want to make sure that I'm articulating myself well, and that I'm sharing kind of my thoughts in a way that makes sense to others. So definitely let me know if you're not following and not making sense. If you don't want to publicly comment that, you can always shoot me an email. It's unleashinghappiness@ceciliahendricks.com. I may use the email to do like a video response, so if other people have that same question, it's available to them. But I would always keep you anonymous, so if you want to reach out, you can definitely do that. But that's why I always say that you should focus on these other areas, because then you're taking care of you. You're taking your attention off of the lack of whatever it is, and you're putting your attention on you feeling good and you doing the things that you want to do. And I think that's really important. And that's kind of more of what I mean when you're putting faith in the unseen, or appearing to, use like delusion is your solution.